Hey everyone, today I'm going to be decluttering my eyeshadows. I thought that this would be a horrible moment in time for me because, to be quite honest, eyeshadow palettes are the materialistic love of my life. But I'm actually surprised at how excited I am to let go of some of this stuff. So let's jump into this eyeshadow palette declutter. I'm going to be starting off with some of the palettes where I don't have a lot from one brand. So let's go ahead and start with this one. This is a Sigma palette. It is the Sigma Dare palette. So obviously here are the colors. I've been holding on to this palette for this single color and shout for a very long time, but I think I'm finally ready to let go. Even though this is kind of an older palette, the shadows don't stink yet and it still looks like makeup. So I'm going to see if one of my friends wants this one. Next up is this Makeup Forever palette. You guys, this is the Artist Eyeshadow palette in the number 1. I recently discovered this and I am madly in love, so I'll be keeping this one. You should go get it too. This is the NYX Butt Naked Eyes palette. It is an eyeshadow palette and a complexion palette. There are the colors, and if we flip it over, there are actually some... Wait, maybe not flip it over. I don't know. Pull it out? Yeah. There are some blush products or some complexion products as well, and it hasn't been getting the use that it deserves. Let me smell it. Honestly, this still smells fine, even though it is pretty old. I'm gonna see if one of my friends wants it. I will warn them of its age, but I think this one is still passing the test. Next up, we have the Jaclyn Hill Favorites palette from Morphe. This was a limited edition palette. I think it came out 3 Decembers ago. I have to keep this one for my collection just for collection purposes. They're not my favorite eyeshadows, but I do think that they are workable and I do enjoy this color selection. Didn't really use this palette too much, to be honest, but again, I am going to hold on to it just for sake of my collection. I'm sure all of you are super familiar with this palette. It is everywhere right now, and I've been using it on my channel a lot recently. I told you guys several times I didn't instantly fall in love with it like everybody else, but I have to say, as of late, I am really enjoying it. I've been able to come up with looks that were more unique. Loving this little baby, definitely holding on to it. And if you don't have it yet, the quality of these is one of the best qualities I've ever used in a palette. Okay, these are my Kat Von D palettes. None of these are available anymore. I have to keep them because they're just stunning. She makes beautiful quality eyeshadows. I don't have a lot of purples in my palettes, so this one is really good for me. Because normally I gravitate towards the warm shades, and then I just can't get rid of this one because of it's like a cult classic, you know. It's the Kat Von D Monarch palette, and I am a beauty junkie, so I'm gonna hold on to both of these for now. Oh no, black got everywhere. As you can tell, it's a very pigmented, nice black shadow. I'm gonna have to clean that up in a second. But I'm actually going to pass this one on to a friend, see if anybody is interested in it. I just don't use tones like this enough, and I have these colors, you know, in other places that I can use. So I'll see if anyone wants this one. All right, I have a couple of Sephora palettes. I'm trying to hold this one up so I don't blind you guys. I apologize. This is the Sephora Pantone Marsala Color of the Year palette. Oh my gosh, how beautiful are these colors? Absolutely loved playing around with this back in the day. Unfortunately, this one stinks. I think that it's got a chemical smell to it. I find that is how eyeshadows start to kind of smell when they're a little bit older. If your eyeshadow is going bad, it starts to smell chemical-y. And unfortunately, this one is chemically, just looking at it makes me so happy. But I'm going to have to toss this one because I'm never going to get any use out of it. But it makes me so sad. It's so beautiful. And then here is a nice neutral 5-pan palette. I think this is beautiful. For whatever reason, I never even used this, so I'm going to pass this along, see if anybody else wants it. This one is very, very old, like literally 5 years old. So stunning. Absolutely loved it when I was younger. It's got a lot more of the sparkle in it, and just for the sake of age for this one as well, I'm gonna have to let it go. Here is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea palette. It's a really nice basics palette. I've literally only used it like a couple of times. Very pretty shimmers, but I'm gonna see if a friend wants this one. From Lorac, I have 2 palettes. This is the Pro 2 and this is the Unzipped. So stunning. Absolutely love the Unzipped palette. Mine is too old though. It has started to smell like chemicals. so I have to toss it. Yeah, this one smells very strong of chemicals. Makes me sad. Y'all, to be quite honest, I'm in love with the mattes in this palette, but I was so disappointed by the shimmers. It's the only Lorac Pro palette that I have, and I know everyone loves these so much. I'm going to hold on to it because these mattes are amazing, and there are some really awesome colors that I don't have. But I was shocked when I got it that the shimmers weren't better. Honestly, the shades just did not differ enough for me. I found that a lot of the shimmery shades looked similar to the other ones, and that makes me sad. It's kind of a ripoff in my opinion. Jumping over to my Stila palettes, this was from a holiday collection, and someone gave this to me like way after the holidays. I haven't used it, and it's basically untouched, so I'm gonna see if one of my friends wants this. It's also so stunning, you guys, and I'm pretty sure this is Kitten. Pretty positive, because this is Kitten right here, and they look really similar to me. So Kitten is everything. I'm sure that someone that I know will love this. I know a lot of people that love purple, so. And then I absolutely adore these guys. And by the way, both are still available. This is the Eyes Are the Window palette in Spirit, and this is the Eyes Are the Window palette in Mind. I think that both of these have such an awesome array of basic neutrals. This is basic matte neutrals, and this is basic shimmery neutrals. It does have a couple of mattes as well. They are still available, so I can do tutorials for you guys, so I'm gonna keep these as well. And we all know we have to keep one version of Kitten in our collection at all times, right? All right, let's look at my Smashbox palettes. This is the Masterclass palette number 2. A lot of people hated the packaging on this guy. I totally see why, totally with them. I love this palette. I dip into it all the time for basics, for basic matte shades, for these highlights, these blushes and bronzers. I love this bronzer. And there are several eyeshadow shades over here that I adore. Smashbox has fabulous quality products. I think that they are underrated. So while this one is discontinued, they do come out with these like masterclass kind of multi-use palettes all the time, and I highly recommend them to you. I've had this for years. It's still working for me. I'm still down to use it, so holding on to it. Like I said, Smashbox comes out with the combo palettes a lot, and as you can see, they have improved the packaging. We went from the cardboard packaging of the last one that I showed you to this really nice plastic packaging that really keeps your products more safe than those little plastic sheets that were in the other one. As you can see, I really enjoy the cream side of these. I haven't gotten into these as much, but again, you know, really awesome basic shades, super beginner friendly. And again, I think Smashbox is underrated. I highly recommend them. And when these palettes come out, like the bang for your buck is so high here, you guys. So rush for these. I believe this is $65, and like you get so much product. So I'm gonna hold on to this. And then this is the Smashbox Full Exposure palette. I got this for my birthday a while ago. Again, as you can see, it kind of has that setup like the Lorac palettes, where we've got like shimmers in one row and then mattes in another row. The setup of this palette is absolutely beautiful. We've got our cool tones on one side and we've got our warm tones on the other side. The brush that comes with this palette was also awesome. I also find these shimmery shades to be really, really unique. They have a lot of glitter in them, so it can be useful to use them with a glitter glue or use them wet, but they are really, really beautiful. This palette actually doesn't have a great rating on Sephora.com, but I really do like it. I just don't use it enough, and I have these basics all over the place in my collection, so I'm going to see if any of my friends want this one. Okay, let's jump into my Too Faced palettes. Some of you might remember this. Again, a plastic sheet. I hated when companies started using these. But I mean, I understand the purpose, but I don't love them. This is the Too Faced Few of My Favorite Things palette. Oh, you guys. When I look at this thing, I still swoon. I think it is about 5 years old, to be honest, which is pretty impressive. Honestly, I think the shadows are starting to break down. They smell like chemicals. They are a little stinky. It's hard for me to get rid of this because this is one of the great palette loves of my life. So I think for the sake of my collection, I'm going to go ahead and hold on to this. Not to use it, just because I love it. I love this palette. I love looking at it. And I don't know, nostalgia, you know? Just, I mean, look at it. Look at it. And then we've got the kind of chocolate bar range going on here. If you watch my channel, you know that this is one of my favorite palettes of all time. I absolutely love the Sweet Peach palette for so many reasons, and I'm gonna keep this. Same story with the original chocolate bar palette. Absolutely stunning, some of my favorite shadows. Again, so much that you need here. Very versatile, great highlighting shades. I love that there's a matte and a shimmer, and this transition shade and this shimmery shade are like, oh, glorious, absolutely glorious. So I'm gonna hold on to this. And then I have got the Semi-Sweet and the Chocolate Bonbons palette. Guys, I cannot get behind either of these. I don't understand why I'm so unimpressed with the quality of both of these eyeshadow palettes. You know, I mean, I love the Chocolate Bar and the Sweet Peach, but for some reason, I just cannot get behind these. I don't like the way they blend. I don't like the color payoff. I'm going to see if one of my friends wants these. These are really gently used, so I'm really happy to be able to pass these to someone who will love it more than me. Finally, we are going to look through my Urban Decay eyeshadow palettes. As you can tell, Urban Decay makes some of my very favorite eyeshadows of all time. I think that they are stunning. So let's jump in. This is the Urban Decay Urban Spectrum eyeshadow palette. I love the jewel tones in here. This was like a hand-me-down. It's a limited edition palette, but someone just recently gave it to me. This didn't get a lot of love because the packaging is kind of crappy. Oops. But I want to play around with it some more. I like that there are some neutrals. These are just really beautiful, fun jewel tones. They're all shimmers. Really great for like playful looks. So I'm definitely going to hold on to this. Next up, we have the Electric palette. I'm sure you guys are all very familiar with it. I'm going to hold on to it. And really quickly, I did want to let you guys know that in the last several months, I've seen this on sale in multiple places. I've seen it on sale on the Sephora website. I do think it is off the Sephora website now, but I also saw it for sale on Macy's. So if you're interested in this palette, maybe try to find it online right now. I'm pretty sure it was on sale for $25. Next up, we've got Alice Through the Looking Glass. Again, Urban Decay. Love how this one has calligraphy in it. You guys know that I am into that. I actually wasn't planning on getting this one. It was gifted to me, so I haven't played around with it very much, but a really cool set of colors. I find that I can always depend on Urban Decay for cool colors, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up, we've got a Vice palette. I can't remember which one this is. I'm sorry. I think it's either Vice 3 or Vice 4. I'm a neutral shadow wearer. I do like a more wearable look. So I really think it is such a great idea to get these colorful palettes from Urban Decay. They make beautiful, colorful shadows. And then that way you have the pop of color that you want. You get a ton in one place. You don't have to buy a bunch of single colorful shadows, so you get a better deal on something that you use less, you know what I'm saying? These also have great mirrors, so I love Vice palettes. I'm gonna hold on to mine. Next up, this is the Urban Decay and Gwen Stefani collab. I have to keep this just because of what it is, you know? Gwen Stefani, amazing artist of my youth, you know, someone that I really enjoy, collabed with my favorite makeup brand. Like, of course, I have to hold on to this palette. We've got the Naked palette. I know you guys are all familiar with this. This is such a classic. Of course, I'm going to hold on to it. How could I not? The summer months are approaching, and the Naked palette, so perfect. Then we have Naked 2 and Naked 3. I love this one. I love both of these as well. Honestly, love this one more. I lost Chopper like the first week that I got this palette. I'm going to hold on to both of these because I know a lot of people have these palettes, and I want to do some tutorials where I use older palettes. You guys know that I'm into that. I like to stay inspired with what I already have, so I'm going to hold on to these. The last two that we have are the Moondust palette and the Naked Basics 2. They are literally complete opposites. We've got the most basic mattes are super natural and wearable, and then I have the brightest, glitteriest, is that even a word, set of eyeshadows right here. These serve great purposes. I love this for a basics. I'm going to hold on to that. And then I'm also going to hold on to this one. This is the Moondust palette. I can't remember if I've said that. Again, super shimmery. I don't get a lot of use out of this palette, but I don't have a lot of loose glitters. So I'm going to hold on to this for those times when I need a more glittery look, where I want to do something more dramatic, or like when it's Halloween and I want to go all out and do something crazy, glittery, and fun. I have 3 palettes that we are just sending to the trash, which honestly hurts my soul, but things do expire. I can accept it. So I'm going to toss these. Okay, and then I am so excited. I actually have 9 eyeshadow palettes to share with my friends and family. I hope that they love them. I am literally so thrilled about that, you guys. Okay, and then I'm keeping, I think there's about 21 palettes here, which I'm really pleased with because I started with over 30. I'm getting rid of 12 things and keeping around 20. I think that that is pretty good. So I'm really impressed. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love doing these with you guys. If you want to see tutorials with any of the palettes that I am keeping, make sure you request those down below. I am totally into using older palettes that no one is talking about anymore as well, or limited edition palettes. I know that a lot of the big YouTubers that you guys watch might get a palette, use it for a little while, and then never use it again because they always get new stuff. So again, let me know if you want to see tutorials with any of this older stuff. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed watching. Enjoy your palettes until the next time I see you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.